quick recap. Basically, the camera, the isometric camera, the source of the difficulty working in tandem with the physics of the enemies that you are not able to get through in that sense. The physics are those of an isometric action RPG game, like Titan Quest, for example, because they are the same as the late 2000s, precisely. The level design structure, with instance dungeons being semi-open world instead of open world like in MMORPG games. And the pacing of the cooldowns of the abilities. With all of those 5 elements that I explored in depth in the first 2 hours, so far I will classify it as an isometric action RPG. With online components as well. But that's the key. The efficiency in the predominance of those elements, as I've said. And you can see that all of these things are impossible if you just say Diablo clone. It's not a matter of subjective perception, but objective metaphysical reality. Isometric action RPG already described the camera, the gameplay mechanics, and the level design in terms of the genre classification. We need to kill more of them. We need to kill more of them, people. I found the book, though. Alright, we can do those two to be of a bit better level. So in that sense, let's get to the second part of the genre classification, in-depth genre classification analysis. What elements could potentially someone argue to classify Drakensang Online as an MMORPG instead of an isometric action RPG? I've already explained that. Isometric, we'll use a naming convention, isometric action RPG, not Diablo clone, because it's not explicitly descriptive. Sorry that I repeat it so much, but it's required. Because it's explicitly descriptive in the metaphysical plane of time and space. It's much more explicit isometric action RPG than Diablo clone, because you cannot establish a definition through a comparison, because comparisons are relative definitions, and you need to do an absolute definition to establish the genre classification, not a comparison, because it's a relative definition, a comparison. Okay, elements that someone could potentially argue to call this an MMORPG instead of an isometric action RPG. The online component, as I was mentioning as I was turning in the quests. One could say that since you have group activities, first reason, and that the game depends on online connection, it's an MMORPG. Okay. Second reason. One could argue, and this is a very interesting reason, that the MMORPG genre, before the redefinition of mechanics that World of Warcraft did back in 2004, was isometric. Ultima Online, as I can cite as an example, Lineage 1 we could cite as an example, all of the South Korean dynasty of MMORPGs before the third-person camera of World of Warcraft. Alright, so someone could argue that the MMORPG genre also was born with Ultima Online with an isometric camera, as a counter-argument to my first point as to classify this as an isometric action RPG. Alright, I classified Sacred 2 as an isometric offline MMORPG. I did so. So we can establish a direct comparison with Sacred 2 that I highly recommend you all play. Pretty much a great prowess of German engineering. Sacred 2, without a doubt. It's a work of art, and I think it's... we have 2 quests to complete in this zone, actually. It's a prowess that I highly recommend you all play Sacred 2. But the pacing of the cooldowns in Sacred 2, is much slower, just like in World of Warcraft. All abilities have either a cooldown, a channeling time, or a casting time. Either charging, channeling, or a cooldown. In this game, you can see that the Fireball can be assigned as a basic attack. That's one huge difference, for example, the pacing. In terms of the camera is not completely genre-defining. It's not completely genre-defining because it doesn't affect the abstract complexity of the gameplay mechanics and the level design of the game. That would be another argument that I would say against it. Someday I will need to figure out what a multi-tool is. I think I will Google it for next stream, because it's the third time I see that thingy. Okay, no worries, it might have to do with the crafting system of the game. The camera. We are left with the argument of the camera, for example. But the camera, does it affect the gameplay? People. And if it does, how? Well, the camera will change the perspective, your field of vision, without a doubt. It will change your field of vision, without a doubt. But will it affect the base damage that your character deals, or that the enemy receives as a whole? No. Does the camera by itself affect the elemental system of the game, the resistances, the abstract complexity of the gameplay mechanics? No. No, that's why I wouldn't place the camera as one of the genre-defining elements to establish a difference. Because Sacred 2 and Drakensang Online, in that sense, have a pretty similar camera, even if Sacred 2 does an auto-adjustment when you rotate your character, and this one is fixed. Much more similar to Titan Quest and Diablo. The same, pretty much. But does it affect the abstract complexity of the gameplay mechanics? No. At the end of the day, no. What does affect the abstract complexity of the gameplay mechanics, how much damage your character deals, how much damage how the level design affects the degree of efficiency in the integration of the gameplay mechanics, as I was describing, at the end of the day, is determined by the underlying mathematical operations that the design philosophy, the structure of the developers represents. For example, Sacred 2 had a very interesting elemental system that worked both offensively and defensively, surpassing the abstract complexity of Borderlands 2, of the Borderlands franchise, and World of Warcraft in general, in which you don't have that elemental damage system. For example, in Star Wars New Republic, the elemental system only affects armor instead of types of damage. In that sense, in Sacred 2 you had those four elements working offensively and defensively, because they affected also not only the resistances of enemies, but also the resistances of your character. They were used defensively. All of those things, as random examples, affect the core abstract complexity of the gameplay mechanics. And why do I mention this element so many times? Because that determines the difficulty that determines the development difficulty for the, there we go, 16, okay, no, equip 21, but it's a bit slower. Well, doesn't matter. Yeah, I don't think that will make any difference. I'll keep that one. Why do I mention the abstract complexity so many times? Because that determines the abstract complexity of the gameplay mechanics. That determines how difficult it was for the developers to create a cohesive system. The more elements, the more variables the developer has to take into account, the higher it is the difficulty for him to develop it. That's why I cited that Sacred 2 had 5, if I'm not mistaken, 5 elemental resistances, just like this game, but they were used offensively and defensively, actively and passively, because you had a set of relics that you had to assign to hotkeys on your keyboard to change the resistance of your character, for example. And in most games, those resistances are granted passively. Like, imagine the usual formula is this piece of gear will provide you 20% fire resistance. Imagine that. Correct? Imagine that. That's generally the formula, the classic solution of Diablo 2 for the elemental resistances system. Okay. In the case of Sacred 2, you have to loot 4 sets. You have to loot 4 sets of 3 relics each that provide fire, arcane, ice, and poison resistances. But you can only have 1 active set at a time. So you have to actively change as you fight your resistances. I know it's a very abstract concept, people, but it worked quite efficiently, hence why I awarded it a perfect qualification. Because the abstract complexity of the gameplay mechanics was higher than most isometric, in that case, RPGs. Think about the ones that I mentioned, the Ultima Online, Lineage 1, etc, etc, etc. I know that genres are blurred most of the time, but that's the key. When you just say that well, alright, it's an MMORPG and an isometric action RPG at the same time, you're not defining it at the end of the day. It's what I always say with relativism. You never reach any objective conclusions. It would be very easy for me to say, alright, it has some elements of MMORPG and it has some elements of isometric action RPG, but I'm not providing you an objective satisfactory answer. That's the key. Instead, trying to dissect the elements that could indicate a predominance of one genre or the other is providing an objective answer, to the best of my understanding, of course. To the best of my mental perception, precisely, in that sense. Alright, 6 damage, attacks per second, critical value, no. For that one, I don't think money should be a problem for now. Hey, good! From gray quality to blue quality. New skin unlocked. Read. Ah, right, it was a skin, right. It was something like... Or was it this one? Well, costume, yeah, well. Then we can wonder about all of those things. We have a 37 out of 65. But as I was mentioning, people, the core idea, is that the elements that are genre-defining affect the core abstract complexity of the gameplay mechanics and the level design. Hey, this one is much better. Good. See, we're improving. We're improving. In that sense, does the camera affect anything besides the field of vision? Well, no. The most that it could affect is the fact that the game has a point-and-click control system rather than tap targeting in that sense. But not the abstract complexity as a whole. It doesn't affect the resistances, it doesn't affect that. That's why, as an element, the camera, as a genre-defining element, the camera is not the predominant one. The predominant ones that one could argue that it's an MMORPG instead of an isometric action RPG, which I disagree with, is that you can do group content, online content, and that leads me precisely to that point. Establishing a direct comparison with the Ultima Online and Lineage 1 and Sacred 2 as examples of MMORPGs with an isometric camera. The pacing of the abilities in all of those games, people. How is it? Except for Ultima Online that has no abilities because it was very basic in that sense, and you could basic attack. In the case of Sacred 2, as a modern direct comparison, because the release dates are also similar, Sacred 2 is also a release from the 7th generation. I don't remember if it was 2008 or 2009 or something like that, because it was a contemporary release to Drakensang Online. The pacing in terms of the cooldowns of the abilities is completely different. You can clearly see in Sacred 2 that it has the rotations. It has the rotations of an MMORPG, and this game has the same instant basic attacks as Titan Quest, and the weight and presence, the weight and the physics of the enemy NPCs, it's also that of an isometric action RPG. Because in Sacred 2 you could get surrounded and killed, but in other examples of the MMORPG genre you can get through enemies like World of Warcraft, as an example. So because of all of those elements that I've commented, the 5 elements that I've commented at the beginning of the stream, and these direct comparisons with the MMORPG genre, with predominant cases of the MMORPG genre, I will classify this game, so it will get to the final analysis eventually, but preemptively, I will classify it as an isometric action RPG. Because of how the physics create a source of difficulty in which you cannot get through enemies, and the source of difficulty is being surrounded and killed, rather than the raw mathematical operation of the damage like in World of Warcraft. The source of the difficulty in the level design development philosophy is completely different. It's not the raw damage, but the fact that, as you can see, if I do this, I cannot get through enemies because of how physics have been handled. Enemy NPCs, have their own weight on the map, and you cannot get through them. In World of Warcraft you can, and the source of the difficulty is the raw damage that the bosses can deal to you. So because of all those 5 points, those 5 arguments, I would classify it as an isometric action RPG so far. It has elements of the MMORPG genre. Yes, of course, it does. It does have. But the predominance, the degree of predominance, is that of the isometric action RPG genre, because of the 5 elements that I have commented in this hour and a half. In this almost 2 hours, pretty much, people. So, because of that, all of the comparisons that I will do once we get to all of the topics that we usually analyze, to the abstract complexity of the gameplay mechanics, to the level design, to everything individually in depth, will be with the isometric action RPG genre in general, and the MMORPG genre as an exception in particular. That is the key. Because as I said, you cannot establish direct comparisons with games that belong to different genres. It's quite interesting concept, but generally that's terrible. As I've said at the beginning, people generally, and game reviewers especially, call these games Diablo clones, and that's not explicitly descriptive of the objective arrangement of particles of metaphysical reality. Because with isometric action RPG, with that naming convention, I am already being more explicit, because I'm giving you details about the camera, the gameplay mechanics, action RPG, and you could even argue the level design. Because of how the structure in general of RPGs are handled. That's why the naming convention Diablo clone is terrible, because it's a relative comparison. You cannot establish definitions through comparisons, because comparisons are relative definitions. That's the key. They are always created, derived from the existence of another metaphysical entity. They don't define in absolute terms. That's why it's an isometric action RPG, because of the 5 elements that I've commented. The camera, how it affects the handling. First, the camera, how it handles enemy NPC physics, and how that in turn affects the source of the difficulty, causing you to be surrounded and killed. The narrow dungeons, instance semi-open world narrow dungeons that also favor and work in tandem. They work in tandem with the precisely with the source of the difficulty of being surrounded and killed in that sense, and the pacing of the cooldowns of the abilities. Indeed, people, indeed. So yeah, pretty much. Because of all of that, I would classify it as an isometric action RPG. Feel free to leave me in the comments down below if you're watching this as a YouTube VOD, the why you would consider it an MMORPG. I love those debates without a doubt. No problem. But those are my 5 elements as to why I will classify it as an isometric action RPG for now. Then we can see that maybe it has any element, if it has any elements, to classify it as an isometric action RPG. But well, you can see that genre classification is a very delicate topic, but I would say that the source of difficulty derived directly from all of the things that I described. They're all amazing. They're all very precise elements that could that can indicate how to classify this game. Okay, so good. Since I took 2 hours to do all of that, and we already have the genre classification in depth, people, since we have all of that, there we go. I will take the rest of the stream to try to progress through the game. There we go. We completed the quest. The detection range is quite good. Okay, let's go back. Oh no, we have another one. Let's see. What about this one? Is it close? It is relatively close, I guess. Can I mount? If I do this? Yep. Let's mount. Let's start making use of our mounts. Let's see. Should be through here. Defeat 8 wild herds barons near the quad fire on the way to the bandit captain. Okay. Alright, and with all of that said, people, we finished the genre, the in-depth genre classification that we started on Thursday. Next topic that I wanted to analyze next time is to start taking a look at the gameplay mechanics, as we usually do. So yeah, but as a conclusion, alright, that song is a bit baggy. As a conclusion, the game is an isometric action RPG because of those 5 reasons in terms of the predominance of the genre. Okay, it has some elements, it does have some elements from the MMORPG genre, but the predominance is that of the isometric action RPG genre. Okay, I think I finished all of the quests in my genre classification as I did that Yes, we killed there. We killed there. Ah, I am lacking this one, but I think it's in the Crypt of Kings. Okay, then I have to go back first. It was P. Okay, let's go. Let's go back to town, people. Let's go back to town. There we go. Congratulations, you formed a group, blah 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 blah. What the fuck? Why is everything dark? Ah, it has a night-day system? It has a night-day system. Wow, that's amazing. Let me turn in this one first. Quest guidance, here we go. When you reach level 20, I presume. Well, whatever. Pretty much. Pretty much, people. Pretty much. It automatically has a group system there. It automatically has a group system there. There we go. Okay. Can I activate my horse? Alright, I have to wait. Let me remove the chat there. This is all the missing food eraser. I do not know what I would do without you. The feast will go on. All thanks to you. There we go. The other quest was... Report to Gregory. It was over there. And then we go to the Crypt of Kings again. Yeah. Then we go to the Crypt of Kings again. That should do it. There. Fantastic. Through your heroic work, our enemy is demoralized and leaderless. We'll take good advantage of the time they'll need to regroup. Okay. I want to finish that stupid quest once and for all, so it stops bothering me, people. Sorry. I need to get rid of that quest that I got at the beginning of the game. I will get rid of it. Just let me get through them. Let me get to that quest because I'm sick of that quest. I'm sick of that quest bothering. I probably could have teleported, I guess. But yeah. I don't like teleporting when I start playing a game, you know? Like... I like to explore it kind of like manually at the beginning. Then I can skip. I really don't like it. Alright, it was over here. Do you have a ruby? Ah, this is the problem. Doesn't tell me where to buy it. It doesn't tell me where to buy it, that's the problem. Well, let's see if I can figure it out. First, do I have a room in my inventory? No, I still have to sell stuff. I know it's two-handed. Double-handed. Okay. I don't want to keep it. Can I assign it somehow? Okay. Alright, people. I'll keep consumables there. Okay. This one is quite good. Do you have the stupid ruby I'm looking for? You? No. Could it be the one that I equipped to the weapon? Could it be? To hell with it. To hell with it. But it says buy it. But to who? Who do I have to buy it from? In the shop. It has to be this one, huh? Has to be this one, the stupid shop. This one? Miscellaneous. Can't I just abandon the quest? I should be able to. No, this one you cannot abandon it. God damn it. Damn it. This one you cannot abandon it. Let's teleport. Where was the world map? Where was it? I saw it once. I saw it. Where is the world map? Where was it? I saw the world map the other day. No. To the Where is it? Where is it? I triggered it the other day. I did trigger it the other day. Where was it? Ah, here. Here. You have to click the obelisk. There. Alright. Kingshill. There we go. This should take me back to the quest. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. See, people? See? Oh, look at those vertex shader. So it has a 9-day system. That's nice. That's nice. Event, turquoise. Okay, we don't care about that. Here we go. You have my eternal gratitude, young man. This book contains thousands of years of wisdom, and if I'm right, it describes the creatures terrorizing my forest. The Wild Hunt. Ah, it's like the Witcher. Yeah, pretty much. It's like the Witcher. Yeah, it's actually a German legend, in case you don't know, people. It's a German legend. Us, directly Roman descended, we're on the other side. But, Germanic tribes, pretty much, believed in that in medieval times. And also Vikings as well. In that sense, we were different back in medieval times. Quite interesting. Well, but you can see how all of our cultural traits define us in a lot of cases. Time of solidarity when defeating enemies. Yeah, okay, good. Okay, got it. Got it. Let's see. There we go. The Wild Hunt have hunted our souls since this book was written. Since before there were books and writing. Oh yes. And it is recorded here that they return to the underworld where their goddess Atreya rests. Ask one of the priests, those so-called keepers of the order, why they left. Okay, got it. Okay, let's go. Faba Fidelis, which means faith. Semper Fidelis, always, no, not faith, loyal. Fiat is faith in Latin. This one is loyal, always loyal. Semper Fidelis was a classic Roman phrase. Semper Fidelis. Okay, let's see. Hey, we have a lot of quests here. Discuss the goddess of the Wild Hunt, but first we have the secret entrance to the wild forests. The culture of the crypt entrance is the secret of the wild. They profane magic bars as from following, and then super you could discover information about him. Alright, we have 2 side quests. We've heard rumors that the Nefertari cult has re-emerged in Slifmoor. Travel there from me, I'm going away to Grovery. Okay. Act 1, Chapter 5, A Bound God. Discuss the gods of hand trying to blasphemy. The Lord created all and his soul. Whatever fades away returns to him and cannot return. His son Agathon sealed the kingdom of the dead and has welcomed our souls into his heart ever since. Okay. And the racing okay, got it. Okay, that should do it. Right, cool. Let me get rid of this costume. I don't like it. What do I do? Not depleted when used. Yeah, not very fitting for a mage, I guess. Alright, it's Q. See, I'm getting used to it. Alright, we have to finish this. Let's do it in order. This one. Wait, you can begin the next chapter without finishing the previous one. The Kingdom of the Dead. I suppose the Underworld has other names for holy folk. Perhaps the goddess of the Wild Hunt is truly dead. But perhaps, if she's resting, perhaps her children have the power to awake her. I saw them in the ruins of the wild forest. I did. Saw the shaman's minions searching. There's a ritual mentioned in my book, the call of the hunt. The shaman needs a symbol of their prey to complete it. Please find this symbol and stop them, as I cannot be sure what they have in mind. Okay, sure or sure, whichever one you'd like, people. I can give you both. Sure and sure. Sure and sure. Both are beautiful. Just listen to. Okay. Take the symbol. Get information from the Nefertari guard post as encrypted. Okay, let's do that. Okay. Because we also had this one. I know, first this one. First this one. We have to finish the Wild Forest arc, let's say. Pretty much. Okay. Let's see. Yep, it's over there. Aha, see? See what I have been mentioning, people. What I have been mentioning, precisely. Wait, did that O doesn't work for the... It doesn't work the first time I activate it. Oh, no. I could see that guy about to block my way. That should do it. May the goddess guide you through the forest. Yeah, that one is from Divinity 1. Not my cup of tea, that game. Finished it on highest difficulty, but not my cup of tea. Alright, so take the symbol. There we go. Unmount, you lazy. Unmount, you lazy devil. Come on. I will not mount. Yeah. Quest guidance cannot find more. Alright, because it was there. Okay, what else? That's it, that's it. Okay. Oh. There we go. Pretty much. There we go. I think that's it, huh? Oh, that's a very fast respawn rate. Damn it. That's a very fast respawn rate, if you ask me. There we go, there we go. Let me get out of here. Let me get out. We got this one, the other ones are on. The other ones are in a different dungeon. Alright, let me turn in the other one. What's this one? No, this one. This one got it. Alright, there we go. Yeah, I'm having a hard time noticing when the chat is open or not. This stone head is human, and we humans are their prey. Of course. Yet we once worshipped this goddess ourselves, long ago. What happened to stop that? We must turn to knowledge more ancient than this book. Our ancestors carved their stories into the stone of the Wild Heart's caverns. Could you journey to that cursed place and find the petroglyphs? We must learn more about these goddess. Okay. Oh, got it. Will Path of Murals, Journey, Path of Murals. Okay, let's finish this one, since it's a chain of quests after all. Okay. Let us see. Let us see, people. Alright, it's in that zone. Alright, it's in that zone that we had. It's in that zone that we had been previously, pretty much. Okay, there we go. There we go. There we go. Okay. Let me check. Perfect. Streams. Yeah, the stream did have a bit of a delay previously, but well. Oh boy, I got. All right, perfect. All right, perfect. There we go. I got dismounted, but no matter. Got a bit dismounted. Got dismounted for a bit there, but no matter. Ah, yeah, I remember this zone. The impact of the animations is quite amazing, if you ask me, people. Quest done. Congratulations, player. Feel good about yourself. Describe the four murals. Okay, to the guy. Back in Kingshill. There's a bit of backtracking. Yeah, pretty much. Okay. There we go. I don't know why it takes so much to mount in that sense. Here we go. The Call of the Hunt. Fascinating. It sounds as if the dragon sought to destroy the goddess of the hunt, but her creatures trapped him with the aid of the humans, but a woman betrayed her people and released the dragon in exchange for an artifact, which she used to imprison Ataya in turn. The goddess of the Wild Hunt was trapped by human hands. If she is freed, she will have her revenge on all humanity. Find and kill the shaman to stop the ritual. Okay. Same zone, I presume, could be. Okay. Shouldn't it be blue, that arrow indicating the zone that you have to get in? Nope. Once again over there. Eraser, why the fuck aren't you using the traveling system of the game? Well, because I want to have a good head start. A pretty good head start to get the money. Indeed, 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 indeed. There we go. Let's go. Yeah, like I could teleport here, but I could teleport here. I could, but still. As I said, I want to have a good head start, people. I want to have a good head start. Good head start. You don't know honestly when you are going to need all of that money. Well, that was pretty much it. I was pretty much trapped in there. Nothing I could do. What happens if I do this? No. Nope. Wrong move, player. Wrong move. Oh, see, this is what I have been talking about, pretty much. This is what I have been talking about. 100%. This is what I have been talking. This one. All right, we got boss here, people. We got boss here. Nice. All right. It has a nasty aura. It had a nasty aura there. A very nasty aura. Hey, that's a huge difference. And the other one was extraordinary. Good, because it provided 3 points of damage. Yeah, but still. Still, it's better to use this one to not get killed for now. Though the 3 points of damage are quite succulent, but they are quite tempting, but still. Here we go. I wish the world could know. I wish the world could know what you have done to save it, but few are brave enough to look to the past. Still, I will not forget you or the Wild Hunt. and will write down the stories of your heroics in my book. A small reward for your bravery. Okay. Achievement completing. The Shaman, Goddess of the Hand, etc. Hey, nice. Nice. That's a huge improvement. That's a huge improvement. Okay, let me sell the rest of the stuff. No. The Captain of the Guard there. Captain of the Guard, but you. I bet I can sell my stuff to you. Alright, it contains the gem. Alright, then I'll keep it to... This one, yes. I'll keep it to learn about how to remove stuff from... Removed engraved stones from weapons and objects. Ice resistance, lightning resistance, I do not care. This one I already have these two that are much better. Oh, perfect. Plus 0.002 attacks per second. That'll be good. So we do. No, shit. That's what Flying Energies told me not to do. Precisely. Yeah, had it there. So we also free the inventory. 0.010 attacks per second. That should do it. Attack speed, poison resistance. No, there we go. There we go. I'll keep this one. The 3 damage is quite good, so I'll equip it here. It gives me a bit more movement speed and resistances, but the damage outweighs the benefit there. In that sense. So let's see what else we have. For as quest, we have this one. We have to do this one. Get information for the Nefertari guard post at the secret crypt exit. There. I have to click on the title, not the empty square itself. Back to the wild forest. This is weird. It must be another zone inside of this. Okay, what do we have? There. Right. Right. Quest guidance cannot find more goals. That was easy. Ah, no, then we will do the other one. This one? Crypt of Kings. What? That was way too easy and fast. Let's see. So you are always constantly in a group, even if you are alone. That one is interesting. Interesting development philosophy. Well done, my son, it says here. The wild hunt is causing considerable trouble. I sent an agent into the wild herd's caverns, but he never returned. We must keep a closer eye on these creatures. Okay. We must learn more about why this Nefertari agent never returned from his trip to Wildhurst Caverns. Will you find him? It will be very dangerous, and you must be on your guard at all times. I suspect he might be holding sensitive information. Okay. Okay, let's go there then. Let's go over there then. Let's keep going with the same quest. Pretty much. Let's go. Nice. Okay. Nice little horse. Please move. Please move, nice little horse. Okay. You are not letting me get through easily. That's for sure. Alright, so only the dungeon in which the active quest is, you 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 have it blue. Only the kind of like the final instance that you need to get into. Oh, stop it! Stop it! There we go. Okay, very quite a quite challenging map to traverse. Quite challenging to traverse. Quite narrow. Come over here. Let's see. Well, no. See, this is what I have been mentioning. Can I do this? Yeah, I can do that. But you didn't expect that one. Okay, let's kill them. See how the source of the difficulty comes. It comes directly from being surrounded and killed. What the? Where's my... Ah, because I pressed tab. Okay, so tab switches them to have another one. Okay. Interesting. We should be close though. I'm beginning to think I was pretty lucky to loot that mount well, unless it was kind of like a rigged loot for killing the first boss, but still. Alright, we'll do it on foot. There. Area of effect environmental damage. It's pointing over there, but there. Letter. Cultists. Letter found. Quest guidance complete. Okay. See, wait. Wait. Because otherwise, let me see if the objective is here. If we have any other objective, or any other objective in here, no. Okay. Okay. Let's go. So I don't fuck up the questing process. Then, people, I need to do one very fast run. One pretty fast run of Titan Quest on hard difficulty, in a sense. I need to do one. A letter. Let's see. The antlered animals act strange. They keep their distance lately, and I feel their disgust for us growing. We did not fully understand what would happen when we decided to make use of them. Very interesting. It appears as if not all the cult's allies are as loyal as they would hope. Well, precisely this guy's name is Father Loyalty. Alright. We are done with that one, we are done with that one, and we go over. And for... Alright, we can do this one. Because I think it's over here, right? Yeah. Let's do some side quests here. Because this zone is the one that I explored right by the end of the previous stream. I wonder if the level will scale, or it should be much easier. That's for sure. No, it didn't scale. Alright, it's easier to farm here, and that's how you... Okay. This shouldn't take long. It's much easier to farm now. That's amazing. That should be pretty much it. Not so tough now. Not so tough now compared to last time. Bones Collective. Would you look at that, people? It doesn't have level scaling, so you can go back and farm the other quests. There we go. To help you with your leveling. Quite interesting concept. Quite interesting concept. Alright, people, since we are already done with the genre classification in the first 2 hours of analysis, we will do the side quests and then proceed with the main quest. Pretty much. We've already done the genre classification in the first 2 hours of analysis. So for next time, we will focus on the abstract complexity of the gameplay mechanics. We can begin analyzing the gameplay. Now that we have the genre classification accounted for. We took care of the genre classification with the first stream and the in-depth review that we did today, pretty much. with that, we could successfully establish that it's an isometric action RPG game as opposed to the MMORPG genre, with all of the subtle comparisons that we established between the level design, the camera, the everything that the game has to offer. The pacing of the cooldowns of the abilities, you can see that even the new ones that we got today, they are all, for example this one, they are all almost instant, as opposed to the slow pacing of the MMORPG genre, and the rest of the elements that we described, like the weight in terms of the physics of the enemy NPCs, and the fact that you cannot get through them, affecting the source of the difficulty, as a defining element of the level design philosophy by the developers. We have the bring the bones and the swords you collected back to Kingshill. Should be easy there. So far, between the first impressions gameplay that we did on Thursday and today, I can establish two preliminary conclusions. First, it's an isometric action RPG. It leans heavily towards that because of the 5 elements that we discussed in depth in the first 2 hours. And also that it has the abstract gameplay mechanics of the late 2000s in terms of inside in the framework of the isometric action RPG genre, because it feels quite similar to Titan Quest in terms of the physics of how you handle the impact of the animations, of the attacks, of the character movement, and as I've said, the key element, the source of the difficulty derived from being surrounded and killed rather than the raw input damage in terms of affecting the level design, for example, people. Okay. So next time we'll focus on the abstract, on the complexity of the gameplay itself. We'll establish comparisons inside of the framework of the isometric action RPG genre, people. That's the key. Okay. Many thanks, Erazel, Agathon, Lord of Order. Grant me clear vision to look upon creation. No, there is no evil magic in these items. However, the dead have been awakened. It did not involve cursed weapons or their bones. My book of learning will not help us with this. Agathon favors us. One of my priests has discovered that an adherent of the Nefertari cult named Wiley resides among the refugees. Search the catacombs for a sign of this conspirator. Then pass yourself off to Wiley as a sympathizer. Perhaps you can get him to reveal a little information. Okay. So this has 4 phases. We're in the middle of it. We'll leave it for later. I want to proceed with the main story until I get killed. This one is only 1 out of 1. We could do that one. And oh well, it's in the same, so okay, we can do them. We can round them up and do both quests together. Normal. Let's go. Let's go to normal. Okay. Let's go. We have to kill 5 Nefertari necromancers and the other quest. See, people, I'm already learning. I learn very fast. I already know how to use my mount. I know how to skip the trash mobs. Darn it. Let me remount. By the way, now nice sound effect there with the fireball. Okay, let's go. We have 2 quests in this zone, people. 2 different quests. So, pretty much have to deal with them. Yeah, I remember this zone. Haha, there we go. Those ones. That one has to count. You. I love how the boss area of effect thing is represented with those static symbols on the ground. They could have added an animation for that. That is for sure. Heal the mobs. They are the main source of damage. There we go. 2 out of 5. I think they'll come to us rather than we read. What does it do? Improved item. Ah, of handbook. Well. Ah, it's an offhand. Okay. Hey, look at that, a ring. Better than the one I have equipped, but I had the slot empty, so yeah. Weapon adornment. Alright, we are fully equipped by now. Would you look at that? Trinkets. Equipment, trinkets. Special bag. Oh, materials. Okay. Oh, this one has 4 slots. 6 armor value on the item. Let's go. 12 armor value. Let's go. Do we have anything else? No, crystal ball. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Baldros, let's see. Critical value. That should do it. Should make a huge difference as well. Okay. Okay. Should do it. More than enough for now. I wonder if I'm getting different abilities. Hotkey expansion. What you have to pay money for to expand the hotbar? As if you need more than right and left mouse click in most isometric action RPG games. Well, in Titan Quest you have to use one. It's exactly like Titan Quest in that sense. The similarities are striking, people, between this game and Titan Quest. Like, it feels like a German version of Titan Quest with a bit of flashiness of Diablo. In that sense, Titan Quest is a bit. There we go. Other quest, we had to do a second quest here. No, this one. Hey, I want to see if I can solo Heredur, because last time the person helped me. I need to check that. Well, now I'm of a much higher level, but still. But still, people. I want to see that. I want to see if I'm able to solo Heredur. Yes. The deceased King Heredur. Let's see, because last time I couldn't do the boss fight. Well, someone was helping me. Pretty much, so I want to see. Oh, silenced. Someone help me. Very, very kind and generous of him. I want to see. Let's see. It should be a challenge still. Let's see. I couldn't do it last time. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see how. What would have happened? I always love wondering what would have happened. Oh. Ah, he has summons. This is like King Leoric. Well, luckily, the ranged gods always help me. Because I don't play melee most of the time. I know he's just summoning. I should save the teleport for that attack precisely. Yep. And now he does the attack. I think I avoided one. Good. That one. That one is the one that needs to be avoided. He has very short range. Has a very, very short range. Oh, almost. I almost avoided that shit. I'm not using potions. That would destroy the tension of the moment, people. Then we'll take a look at the usage of potions and the gameplay mechanics and everything. He has one ranged attack, but it kind of like looks in one direction. Very easy to do. There we go. That was a very well, was properly balanced, the difficulty, if I had to say something. Hey, dropped a lot of goodies. Indeed, he dropped a lot of goodies. -4 all resistances values. You have to keep me. Oh, because of the level, probably. Block value, no, we don't use shields. We are mages. What about this one? Is it any better? No. Same. Critical value on the item. I don't know if it's critical chance or critical damage. Critical value. Okay. 14, 15, 3 of resistances. What? Right. What about this one? What do you do? Same critical value. What about this? Ah, the red ones are like potions. Or resistances. And the magic resistance. Let's just assign them so we don't get killed. What is silver coronet? Hey, look at that. We looted something useful. Our headpiece. Nice, nice, nice. All right, okay. And we sell all the rest. Well, unless I learn how to take out the gem there. Let's go back. At the defiled altar. All right, we need to do one more there. We need to do one more. We need to do one more. Yeah, seems easy enough. There we go. This one. Silver Coronet. Inventory is full. Yeah, of course. Of course, that had to happen. Oh. Ah, yeah, right. I don't need block value. I don't have a shield. Silly me. Thank you. Done and done. Done and done. Well in the Kingshill. Done and done, people. See how efficient? How efficient the quest pathing could be. Ah, the amulet. You would like a report, brother. Tell the High Priestess I have performed my service to Nefertari here. You'll have been erected the death. Okay, go. Done and done. Okay. Inform Father Fidelis in Kingshill of a conversation. 2 out of 4. It has one last phase, the quest. These are the phases of the quest. Death Flame, he said. Then the cult must surely be using Anna magic. An ancient form of magic, it has long been forbidden, because it is chaotic and dangerous. Our world has been free of Anna magic for generations. Now it seems the cult is abusing it for their own purposes. This is dangerous, extremely dangerous. So these death flames are to blame for our ancestors rising from the catacombs and attacking us. There's only one solution here, so extinguish these fires as quickly as possible. Operate on you on the spot. Okay. Alright, we have 2 phases more regarding that. Regarding that, we have to finish those. And we keep going with the main story, people. And we keep going with the main story. Fires? Maybe this one? Ah, the Android. Well mounted. Magnificent. Don't think so. Nice. I bet better mounts prevent you from being dismounted or whatever, but yeah. I am more than perfect with my little horse here. Through there. They formed a perfect line there. A perfect phalanx. Perfect Roman phalanx there. Last one. Quest complete. Then let's get out of here. It takes so much time. Shit. Try that again. It takes so much time. Yes. Magnificent. The death flames in the catacombs have been put out. You have done well, Eraser. Just imagine if Kingshill were overrun. Yeah. Was overrun with the undead. Hopefully the dead will now be able to rest in peace. Our brothers are buried in the final phase of the quest. Our brothers are buried in the catacombs, but beneath them lies the crypt of kings. Our vertical tomb there. So, okay, let's see. We have to do the final quest here, and we are done. And we are done with the side quest. We can go back to the main quest, people. Right, it's a transition. Oh, come on. What was that sound? I don't know what I accomplished, but there was an epic horn sounding there. I didn't level up though. Fortunately, the dismounting is not instant. Also, the zooming of the camera is pretty much like in Diablo, in that sense. And Titan Quest, kind of like a bit more zoomed in. And on average. Oh darn it. This one, you lazy. This one, you lazy imbecile. This one, I'm telling myself, people. There we go. That's it. I know we have more heroes to defeat. The Arisen. Also defeat the Arisen hero Renkis at his tomb. To the north. Okay, to the north it is then. I love that area of effect damage. Hey, they're starting to block the damage with those shields. 1 second. There we go. Hey, these ones are of my level, huh? Don't think that they were all puny in that sense. Not bad at all. So far the game has the very same physics as Titan Quest. 100%. It's no coincidence that they belong to the same period of time in terms of the release dates. Look at that, people. We're already learning. I'm completing the quests much faster. It is good that they don't dismount you immediately, in that sense. In a lot of games you are dismounted immediately as you get attacked. Third hero dead. Only one to go. I just need to learn how to remove the crystals from gear, and I'll be good to go. Because I'll be able to reapply those little rubies and precious stones to the different pieces of gear. So with that, I should be pretty good to know. That should get me by for a while in that sense. I already figured out how to engrave the gear, so now I just swap them, and that's it. That should give me enough in terms of resistances. I wonder what's the level cap for the main expansion, for the base story of the game. Because I'm already at level 21. That's interesting. Generally it's 50 or 30. Alright, for the next part of the analysis, we will start with the gameplay mechanics themselves. Correct, people? Now that we've already established the genre classification, and the first direct comparisons are more. Yeah, but we don't do block. We don't do blocking, so we are not warriors. So cannot see why we would like that one. Okay. So we've already established the. Now that we've established an in-depth genre classification of the game with the direct comparisons that it has to offer, we will get into. All right, that's it. We beat the dungeon, and I did that boss the other day that I got help in game. This time I soloed it, just so you have the experience of what you will get if you solo it, kind of like as you get into the game. People, anyone watching this as a YouTube, just so you have a reference. Okay, let me turn in that one and continue with the main quest. Hey, it has a day-night cycle. That's sweet. It has a day-night cycle like Pokemon, for example. They should add that. They should add that in a lot of modern games. The death flames are burning again and raising the dead anew by Agathon. It's a good thing you went back down, Eraser. Just imagine if Kingshill was, because it's overrun with the undead. I know that a lot of that in a lot of cases people use were nowadays, but that one should only be used for the plural. Technically, it was about to be overrun. Okay, so we had that one. This one I completed it. In Kingshill of where? This guy precisely. Oh, I wish the creator would bless us with your courage. Blah, blah, blah. By the way, people, we need to do already level 22. You level up very fast, though, huh? It's like Diablo 3, the leveling experience so far. Very, very fast. Titan Quest is a bit slower. Speaking of it, precisely. Hey, Ball of Lightning. What's that? A new ability. Well, next time I'll start taking care of it had a skill tree here. Of the skill tree and everything, that the intricacies of the abilities and the elemental system of what the game has to offer. First I had to establish a genre classification. Of course, people, you cannot compare games from different genres, as I always say. Okay, let's continue with the main quest. Travel to Slifmoor, whatever that may be. So, new zone. Let's see if we can get there. It's beyond the wild forest. I see. Alright. We finished all of the quests there to have I wanted to farm a bit to have a decent, at least a decent head start for the money and everything. So that should be more than enough. So with that, now we have the mount and everything. We should be able to traverse through the map very, very efficiently and get to the next area. I also love the graphics engine that they use. That is the same as that's precisely Drakensang 1. Quite nice how they designed it, the overall ambience, but specifically the physics. The physics are Shit. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. I know what happened there. Alright, I think I haven't been here. Oh, quite the big zone. Hey, it's not completely open world, but still quite massive. Interesting area. Hmm. Interesting. Alright, let's get into that door. It's incredible how the physics system feels exactly like Titan Quest. Speaking of which, we have to last refugee, enter the besieged Warian Sanctuary. Okay, the Steam achievements was that. Hmm. Okay, new area. Could it be? Looks like it. That one is the one that we have to talk to after finishing all of the quests. A light in the darkness. This is Act 1, Chapter 5. But before we get into that, people, as a wrap up, then I need to do a very fast run of Titan Quest because I have a problem. I finished it on normal difficulty, but I need to get to Nightmare difficulty or whatever the third difficulty of the game. I think it's Legendary or something like that. To access the Embers expansion. So I have to finish it on Veteran difficulty. Let's say the second one. Let's say the second difficulty of it. I need to do a very fast run without side quests, and I will take advantage of it to establish the comparison with the physics of this game at the same time. So you see my point, because one thing is me talking about it, and another one is showing you. So maybe in the future I can show it to you, so you can see how the physics handle exactly the same with the 5 points that we talked in the first 2 hours about the genre defining elements of the gameplay mechanics and the level design that made this game a bit more isometric action RPG rather than MMORPG. A light in the darkness. Thank you for the warning, but unfortunately it's too late for the citizens of Grovery. The Nefertari have already taken hold of Slifmoor, but not all hope is gone. It's good to hear that Kingshill was able to resist the lies and tricks up until now. Save the souls. I've already learned that the phase is there. It's one phase out of 3 that we'll need to complete 3 quests for this fine gentleman to proceed with the story. The cult of Nefertari is making wild promises to the populace of Slifmoor. If they will serve her and turn their back upon mighty Agathon, they have made her a statue of a subject of idolatry, sorry. I fear for those souls. Please try talking some sense into them. Yeah, I can imagine how the sense will be talked to them. Pretty much, people. I can picture it. Possession and ascension. Eerie tales from the battlefield of a walking, talking skeletal warrior with a helm of invincibility are sapping the morale of our warriors. Their confidence might be restored if you were able to bring me this helmet, such that I could show them that nobody is invincible. Okay, we've got those two. By the way, amazing soundtrack ambience. I love it. Chain of Death, 1 out of 1. Our fate rests in battle. If we do not prepare, our brave warriors shall suffer a horrible fate. Lend our defenses reinforcement there, let's see, by weakening the defense lines of our undead enemy in Slifmoor. Bring back their chainmail shirts. They'll do my lads a great deal of good. The last refugee of Slifmoor? For some time now I have been calling off the recent gods of Grovery, who now fight for the Nefertari heralds. My men are exhausted. Can you give us some breathing space? We really could use the help. Okay, we got those 2 quests. Nefertari enemies on Slifmoor. Thank goodness, hero, you may address me as for dangers and always send me to address some local problems. Care to assist me? Okay. We have all of those side quests. Alchemist and Essence Merchant. There we go. That should solve that. That should solve that. Let me sell all of these so we clear some room. There's a ball. Okay. Okay. I don't think it'll matter a lot. It will matter a lot. The stones so far. The face of business. So just show my face here. Let's see. Why so many health potions? Like, don't they sell gear? Go on. Yeah, they do, but with that other currency, that is not the currency of the game or whatever. Okay, whatever. Okay, I better unlock this fast travel point. Though I bet the fast travel should send me back here now instead. It should send me back here now instead. Okay, people. I have sadly run out of time today. I have sadly run out of time today because I started a bit later because of the stupid system, the stupid surround sound system. But well, today we analyzed the genre. We did an in-depth genre classification of the game that I couldn't do in my first impressions stream, but we could do it today, and next time we will take care precisely of that, of the elements themselves, that we need. I'll just finish the quest here. The elements themselves that inside of the framework of the isometric action RPG genre that we have already defined, we will take a look at what Drakensang Online has to offer, pretty much, when compared to Diablo, to Titan Quest, mechanics that it inherits, mechanics that it ignores, pretty much. Pretty much. So we will compare all of them. And begin establishing comparisons within the framework of the isometric action RPG genre, as we usually do. As I said, you cannot establish comparisons if first you don't define the genre. So I'll start taking a look at the abilities, everything. I'll try to have everything a bit more sorted, and we will have all of that for next time, people. On Thursday, we can play Drakensang Online again, or Star Wars: The Old Republic. We can see, but I have to arm myself a bit better for Star Wars: The Old Republic, I guess. For Knights of the Eternal Throne. Yep, pretty much. We should. Okay. Don't know if I should start that expansion though. We could. We could do the Ultimate 3DS Showcase. I have so many things to do. Or the Incredible Adventures of Van Helsing. Or mine. I have so many options. Or that. We could do Titan Quest at the same time to kind of like do a tie-in so you can see the comparisons. Ask for support on Alfred's behalf. Alfred again? I already told him that we can't spare one single warrior. You'll be well advised to stay away from subjects of his ilk. He only propagates heresy and causes you to stray off the course. Just go to warrior. Perfect. I don't like that. I leave everything ready for next time. Magnificent. One thing I must say is that the game is extremely comfortable to alt tab with, in that sense. Like you can check out your own stream on a different screen while the game being open, and it doesn't lag or anything in that sense. Star Wars Republic is much heavier. Alright people, it's been my pleasure sharing this second day of metaphysical analysis of Drakensang online with all of the comparisons that we established for the genre classification of the game. We will continue either on Thursday or next Tuesday. We will continue either on Thursday or next Tuesday. Within the framework of the isometric action RPG genre. Now that we've established the genre comparison and classification. Okay, people. As always, special thanks to District for recommending me the game, as well as Flying Energies, both of you for visiting me. Thanks to Techie the other day for also welcoming me to the game, and the rest of the people that welcomed me to the game the other day. So thanks from the bottom of my heart. Special thanks to Discord members and to each followers, as always, from the bottom of my heart. You always inspire me to continue showcasing all of the forgotten gems that certainly deserve much more praise. And thanks to YouTube subscribers as well, and anyone who might have taken the time to watch this as a YouTube VOD or a Twitch VOD in the future, listening to my analysis, people. It's been my pleasure. See you all on Thursday. I don't know what we'll play, but I have several options, but we will be back with more, and definitely Drakensang online either on Thursday or on Tuesday. People, it's been my pleasure. See you all in the next one. Have a great week.